What's up, gang? Carlton Flowers here, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And we just have to do this quick video here on Bitcoin because I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's just jump in and look at every indicator. This is unrehearsed, and I'll give my unbiased opinion and just talk about what I see on here and what the possibilities are. All right, let's get rid of my handsome face. And here we are on the 1 day chart. So since the last time we were here, I put in this parallel trading channel. This is just uncanny. So here we are, not 1 week after that I made this channel, and now we're right there. We're nearing the top. What's going to happen? Are we going to exceed this upper limit? Or is it going to correct and reject? In the last video, I was talking about the stochastic and how we have these three zones here where we just stayed up above the 80% line, the 80 line, and stayed buried out when we had those great big fat runs. Here's the big run in the first block that took us up to this peak. Had the correction, and then we had the next massive run during this great big fat piece here where we just stayed in the zone, and then the next short peak produced this little short peak here, produced this run, and then we had the double hump camel that took us to the all-time high, and then we started down. So since then, what we have on the table that we can look at, we have our first high, of course, here, and then here's our next one. That's the lower high. Then all of this mess, this action that happened down here to the lower end of the parallel trading, the bearish trading channel. And then, of course, we're right here where this will either be the third point or the second lower high, or it's going to be the point where we blast off. So it could be, okay, lower high number one, lower high number two, or not. And then possibly jumping off this line and just heading on up. And it could be like clear skies. So what else do we have here? What are the indications saying? What is the MACD saying? Well, the MACD is on a long upward trend here. This is a pretty long trend and it still looks like it's positive. The only thing that's happening right now is we see volume is slowing down here. Volume's going down and price is going up. Why? That's just strange. I don't know how well I trust that. Now we had the long movement on the MACD starting at the all-time peak here and then going to the bottom. That was a divergence. We had price going up upstairs during this entire time. Let's just make a rectangle here so we can contain this zone and show the divergence. So from here to here, looking in this zone, we see that the MACD was going down. Yet the price was overall moving up to this point, and then we broke off and started to head down. So somewhere around, let's take this straight down to here. It was this period of time that the divergence stayed true, and then it broke, and now we were moving in conjunction with this downward movement. Now we had another divergence. What was the next one? Well, the MACD histogram, not the histogram, the oscillators moving up, price moving down, bouncing at the bottom of the trading channel in the opposite direction. Let's put a rectangle around this little period from the base to maybe the peak right here. Let's just draw that on up. It's about right there. Maybe that's rough enough. And as we had this movement going up, we also had this movement going down. Whoops, let's get an arrow. So we were going down to this point, and then we blasted up. So this point here, let's just bring that on down. This is where the divergence ended. And then price movement agreed with the direction of the oscillators on the MACD histogram. I'm sorry, the MACD oscillators were moving up, and so was the price. Let's make that green. Now, this looks good. There's our green arrow moving up. Now volume is going down. The histogram, I keep saying histogram. I've been wanting to talk about that. We had some nice peaks on the histogram. Here's a nice fat one here. Then we got the nice fat one right here. Now it's settling down. What are we doing here? It's settling down. Is this the start of a divergence? We did have a crossover here. Let's clear some of this out. We had a crossover right there, but then it snapped right back up. Well, what's going on? How do we keep sustaining this when we see that volume is doing this? There's another divergence. There's volume coming down. Stochastic wants to stay completely up. MACD oscillators continuously moving up, while histogram is moving down. Those are two divergences. So how did we get this jump right here? Well, we know that there was a big whale movement. Some people call them whale sharks. These purchases right here defied the technical indicators. Well, why does that happen when it happens? TA works, period. It shows you what's going on with a natural balance of buying and selling, natural trading activity based on waves. You can call that the effect of the Fibonacci sequence. Just look that up. It's natural. And the reason why the waves and the Fibonacci effect works is because human interaction and our actions in buying, trading are all emotionally based. Emotions is what makes the Fibonacci what it is. Human and emotion. Now, when these whales come buying in very large amounts, they can manipulate this market. We've talked about that before. There have been times in the past where every indication says it's going down, like this one here, and then boom, we just blew up. And this little movement here, all indications were we're going down. Boom, we blew up and made it through the upper support resistance zone. We just blasted right through it. We were bouncing perfectly within it, and then we just took it out. And now we're at the top of this trading channel. Question is, will this sustain? And can we just keep on pushing up? Do people want to keep dumping incredible amounts of money into this run to sustain that price? Let's clear this and let's look at let's just zoom in to right here so we can check out the volume profile. The VPVR, which is the amount of volume at a particular price instead of the amount of volume at a particular time. This is very valuable because it tells you when the institutions and the whales, when they're giving this the most attention in buying or selling. And these nodes tend to attract price movement. So where could we go from here? We notice that right now, as we speak, we are at this volume node at the current price, at this 50,000 price. So what are the choices? We could jump up to the next volume node, which is what, 55, 58. We'll turn off drawing real quick and get the price there. In the middle of this node is at about 56.5, somewhere around there. That's where it is. Or do we jump back down to the thick of this next one where the point of control price is 33,940. That's the balance point for all of this action since the beginning of 2021, roughly. So we got this thick one here. And then, of course, we've got the same two that are down here below, the 18 to 19,000. And then we've got that 27 one sitting there. So what are the possibilities? I would say, number one, the most likely are one of the two of these right here. And those come in at a price of where we sit, just below at 49 and then 47. So 47 is a possibility. Those are the most likely, highest probability. And then the next probability would be jumping up to this 56. Now, if we don't break out of this and then hit the 56, well, it could get ugly. If we do not hit those, then fall below this one, this lower volume node here, if it fails, we're going to be going back down to test this support resistance zone. And if that fails, then this comes into play of what happens down here. With the thick of this volume node, here, and at the point of control being so far below these weaker support resistance zones, we could blow straight through those. But we do have this bullish cross of the 200 and the 50, which happened as a result of all of this positive upward climbing momentum. We had the death cross right here. It didn't last long. So everybody, you remember when everyone was hollering about the death cross, oh my God, we got a death cross, that's the end, we're going to 20K, which I think we were fooled. And it was manipulation of the market and people putting out this FUD to make us think, sit and wait and don't buy right now. So while I sat and waited for 20, this was the low point. Fooled me. And then we go on this rip. A lot of people made a lot of money. I'm not going to listen to that FUD anymore. I'm going to just wait and watch and see what happens. And right now, my eyes are on this monster right here. How long can this go on? We will be breaking records if this stochastic stays above. And now here's the biggest point I want to make right here and right now. And by the way, absolutely none of this is financial advice, and I'm not trying to make a name for myself as being able to predict anything. People who watch YouTube videos to get predictions of where Bitcoin is going are just dumb. You're not going to get it because anything can happen. Natural movements, we get technical indicators. Whales come in and they wreck it. Institutions can manipulate this market because it's too small. So for y'all looking for the predictions, you're going to lose money. You better come up with your own plan and stick with it for the long term. Well, we are stuck up here for quite a while, and I don't have much confidence that this can carry on long. At some point, there is going to have to be a head down here for a correction, back and oversold. And what do we always see in September? September's usually tend to be red, and then we sail into October and we consolidate, recover, and move up. Oh man, the end of August, this is going to be so interesting, but we may not even have to wait that long because this is going to tell us everything we need to know right here. If we make out of this, we're going to head up to this 56K by the end of this August, and then maybe the September blood could start. Who knows? The only thing I know is markets don't go up forever. And now everybody's bullish. Everybody's expecting us to blast off to the moon right here and right now. And as soon as we get polarized where everyone's thinking the same thing, what happens? The opposite. That's what we saw right here. Everybody got to thinking the same. We're going to 20K. We blasted off. Now everybody's thinking we're going to 56 and higher. I'm waiting and watching because this can't stay up forever and this can't stay up forever. So we will see. Is there any other indication? Well, yeah, there is. Let's clear this stuff and pop up here to the DXY. What's DXY doing? Looks to me like it's on a romp. We have a nice little bullish cross of the 200 and the 50 on the DXY, and it wants to say, I'm trending upwards. If this continues, and look, we're already in the overbought, but how far have we been in here? Not too long. We dipped out of it after this little brief run here. But there's nothing to say that we can't stay up here and bounce around. I will be watching this DXY. If DXY decides to do this stuff, then I'm going to say Bitcoin correction is going to come. If DXY decides to poop out and head back down, Bitcoin's probably going to run to 56K. Let's wait and watch the birdie. Now, the only other bit of evidence that I have is that everything seems to be mirroring Bitcoin's movement. Ethereum is on this romp, but what do we see? Let's just look at all these. Lower high, we're at a lower high. Here's the peak, lower high. What is Bitcoin doing? Here's the peak, lower high, lower high. Litecoin, big peak, lower high, trying to take out these previous lower highs, but we're doing nothing on Litecoin. It's dead action. Mana, here's the peak, lower high. ICP, same thing. Filecoin, here's the peak, lower high, lower high. None of these charts look like breakout to me. They're all still trending down. We're not breaking records. Here's chain link. Here's the peak, lower high. Everything's lining up the same way. Now, should this make me think that we're about to get rich and we're just going to break out to blue skies? Not yet. Not yet. I'm not convinced. I'm going to be careful and sit back and wait. Look at these charts. Why are they so similar? Is there one that is doing something different? No. Now, all the idiots who are in ACH are buying into this run right now. You're dumb. Look at this peak here. Look at this lower high happening here. Is this just going to rocket ship to the moon? Probably not. Telcoin's doing nice, but is it even back to the point of control price? No. Let's look at X-Curve. $5. It's pushing it. Are we at the point of control? No. Lower high. All right. That's about all I've got for here. Let's just jump back up to Bitcoin. And it's a waiting game. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Convince me. I mean, I need help believing that this is going to sustain. It might. You know, like I said, 56K, the note is up there. But post your opinion in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for further updates, and we'll talk it out. See ya.